Welcome to the Week of Action organized by EIT Climate-KIC and our global community. We're very excited that you are joining us today. Maybe you are joining us again. Maybe you've watched some of the previous sessions. So we are running a whole week of live shows where we are talking to our community. But we're very excited that you're joining us from all around the world. My name is Bjarke Korsøy, and I'm the Climathon lead at EIT Climate-KIC. And with me in the studio, I have my colleague, Christian Daube, who is the lead of the Climate Accelerator. And Christian, how are you feeling?
I'm good. Welcome everyone. Good to have you back. Bjarke, please explain us what EIT Climate-KIC is. Some people may not know.
That's a very good question, Christian. EIT Climate-KIC, if you think about it, KIC, what does it mean? Well, it means Knowledge Innovation Community. So we bring together more than 400 partners across Europe, across the globe, to work on and really exchange knowledge that can benefit the future, our future, and provide positive impact for a net zero economy. So we, like I said, we bring knowledge together. And then in the other end, we create innovation. So that's also what we're going to show you today during the Week of Action. And the strategic programs, which the Climate Accelerator and Climathon are part of, is one of the ways in which Climate-KIC is doing this. So we activate people through the strategic programs so people can take action locally. We educate them so they also get the knowledge and skills needed for engaging in future climate action. And then we accelerate all the great ideas that they have. And Christian, maybe you can tell us about why did we put together the Week of Action?
Sure. The Week of Action has the big purpose to celebrate climate innovators and entrepreneurs out there. There are many who want to change climate and who want to impact our planet to really be more resilient and more positive when it comes to climate. That's what this week is all about, and we have lots of partners, as Bjarke mentioned, who we are supporting and helping to create these innovations, to launch them to market and to scale them a lot. I think this is what this week is all about, leading obviously to the United Nations Climate Conference in the next week called COP26. So we want to bring out messages as well and to really motivate people and inspire people to be innovators and entrepreneurs in this space. And that's what these days are all about. What do you think?
I think that's very exciting, and I also just want to mention that it's also to show, you mentioned the United Nations Climate Summit COP. It's also to show that there are actually people out there already taking action. There are some people doing something about it. We talk about how we need to strike deals, but there are actually people out there working on all of our behalf to do something about climate change. And speaking about climate change, there are so many different topics. One of the topics that we have focused on today, so we have a different topic each day of the Week of Action. Today's topic is land use. So land use it's providing livelihood for us, but we are actually at a point now, I don't know if you know, Christian, but we're actually at a point now where the strain we're putting on the resources is more than what the resources need to regenerate. So we're actually using more resources than what the resources can regenerate. So that's pretty serious.
Especially looking at the growing population, I guess. No, it's a big challenge for us. Yeah.
Definitely. So we really want to hear from you out there. If you know of great projects that are trying to do something about the strain that we're putting on land all around the world. Maybe you're part of one of these projects, or maybe you think that your city and region can actually do something about it, and you want to call them out and say, hey, let's take action. Let's take action together. Then we really want to hear from you under the hashtag Destination 1.5. You can also see it on the screen behind me. It's Destination 1.5, where point is spelled out. So please do share with us. We really want to hear from you so we can also help you amplify the visibility. But we have a really, really interesting program put together today. And Christian, maybe you can tell us just a little bit about what's in store for us.
I will. So right now we will be listening to Bjarke's Climathons and how they're engaging citizens to create ideas in their cities. We will be listening to some of the partners who are actively doing this Climathon right now, basically. At 12 p.m. Central European Time, we will be interviewing one of these climate entrepreneurs. Florian from Green Pass, he will be telling about his journey, about his future plans, and how life as a climate entrepreneur is every day. And then at 1 p.m. Central European Time, we will be talking to a very interesting panel about climate investment. So we are also looking forward to really invest and help investors and then institutions to invest into these startups going through our programs. And we want to talk to an entrepreneur, to a VC, and to a corporate VC at 1 p.m. around what they're doing and what they think should be done in the future when it comes to climate investment. In the afternoon, at 4 p.m. and at 5 p.m. Central European Time Zone, we will be talking to our alumni from our journey and from our Young Innovator programs, which are education programs where we work with different universities and students to also engage them to create climate innovations. We will be talking to them to hear what they are creating and what their future is all about. That's the day of today, and this will be very interesting, I do believe. And audience, raise questions, be curious, and challenge all of our participants and get to know more.
Really good point. So really, we want you to engage out there. So Christian, you just mentioned you'll be back at 12 for the session on the Climate Accelerator, how to become an entrepreneur. And like you said, all the times that we're mentioning are in Central European Standard Time, just so you can, if you're sitting out there and you're not in Europe, you can just calculate, okay, when is it that I need to tune in? Yep. But Christian, we'll see you again at 12. Thank you so much for joining us just for this introduction.
Sure, good luck. See you again.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So we just opened up the chat. So if you have questions for me or for any of the speakers that I'm bringing on, then please put them in the chat so I can also bring them up here in the studio and you can get answers to anything you want to know. You might also have an idea of how to make your city, your town become carbon neutral. So if you have, then please do share. This is actually also the starting point for the Climathon, the program that you are going to hear much more about right now. It's a program where since 2015 we've been bringing cities and citizens together to work on their local climate challenges and together come up with ideas for how they solve these challenges. Today, we have more than 195 cities taking part. So the movement is just growing. And the Climathon is very much a platform for developing ideas, but it's also a platform for people with the same passion but different backgrounds, actually coming together, meeting each other, exchanging their knowledge, growing their network. And it's also a platform for providing learnings to all these participants. So participants actually tell us at least that they come out of the Climathon knowing much more about climate, feeling ready to tackle some of their local climate issues. And the Climathon journey, as we call it, where we work with a lot of independent organizations all around the world, it's taking place year-round. And today I want to introduce you to two of the people that we're working with on this Climathon journey, two of what we call our local organizers. And these are organizers who are organizing a Climathon this week. Actually, one of them just kicked off his Climathon today. So I want to bring on my first two guests from Climathon Trondheim and Climathon Herning. We have Bert from Herning and we have Chen from Trondheim. So Bert, how are you feeling?
Really good. We just kicked off about an hour ago and I went downstairs here and I could hear people cheering and clapping and I think there's a good atmosphere.
And Chen, what about you? How are you doing? Can you hear me, Chen? I think maybe we lost the connection to Chen. So Bert, I just want to just want to hear, okay, you said you just kicked off your Climathon. So how's the atmosphere there?
It's really great. I don't think the people that signed up really were aware of what they were signing up to. So I think just looking at them when I did an opening speech, I could see like twinkles in their eyes of saying, okay, this is going to be a really great 2 days.
That sounds amazing, and it's just so good to hear that all of that energy is in that room already. I think Chen Yu, you are back. So I just want to hear like how are you feeling? How are you doing? You're also planning an upcoming Climathon, I know.
I'm sorry, back. I cannot hear you.
Can you? All right. Well, my question was, I know you're planning an upcoming Climathon starting this Friday. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are things for you? I think we might have some issues with the sound for Chen Yu, but nonetheless, Bert, I know this is your first Climathon. So how are you feeling about this whole experience? Can you? All right. Well, my question was, I know you're planning.
There's a bit of feedback, but
Climathon starting this Friday.
yeah, we just started, and we have about 70
how are
students
things
with
for you?
3 universities attending. We got involved as we only just opened our doors as a new sustainability platform earlier this year, and we were looking to do a kickoff of a new student network for climate action, and so we thought this would be like the perfect opportunity to set things in motion.
That sounds amazing. And how do you feel? How's the support in the city of Herning for what you're doing?
It's been really excellent. We are funded by the city of Herning, but we are an independent association. But they have backed us up completely by reaching out to speakers and partners and people being part of a jury. And they've been deeply involved in activating also the universities to recruit participants.
That sounds amazing. It's just, and again, it shows like how important it is to get the city involved. I just want to hear, Chen Yu, if we have you back, if you can hear us. I don't think so, no, unfortunately. Well, Bert, maybe you can tell us just about what are the challenges that you are going to work on. What are the big challenges in Herning that you hope that you, together with all the participants, can tackle this week?
Sure. Herning is historically a textile city with lots of textile manufacturing companies. So that is going to be the focus of our Climathon. And we're looking at it from 3 aspects of saying, okay, how can we avoid all the waste that is produced in production of textile products and lifestyle and design products? How can we reuse any dead stock or leftover materials to recreate other materials, such as we have a company that is going to be showing isolation material that is created from old carpets from a ferry line that they've taken up, grinded it finely, and created it into isolation, sound isolation panels. Just as an example to inspire our students what else you can do with leftover. And the third challenge is going to be looking at the transparency. So if you're going to have dead stock leftover clothing, how can you create transparency so I as an end user know where this material is coming from, but also as a provider to become more willing to share your dead stock. How do I know that my t-shirts are not going to be sold on a black market with a markup?
That sounds like a really, really interesting challenge and a really good focus. How come you're focusing on textile as your challenge in Herning?
Sure. So Textile is the fashion industry in itself is one of the most polluting industries that we have currently. It spans across the world, so even designs that are made here are of course not actually produced here. So the value chain affects pretty much everyone that is on this globe. But also we are in this building. It's an old industrial weaving factory. So for us, it's going to be a primary focus to also work on, as we see that we can make a huge difference working on textile. On top of that, there's going to be a new law in effect, I believe, in 2023 in Denmark, where we're going to be recycling textile. So whenever I have old socks with holes in them, I can no longer throw them in the regular garbage. I need to actually separate them, just like we're doing with plastic and batteries, etc. But what are we then going to do with all this leftover materials? That we need to find solutions for.
That's a really great starting point, and actually I didn't know the thing about socks, so I need to think about that now. I'm also in Denmark with my with my future or old socks. So I know now. I think we have Chin Yu with us. So Chin Yu, how are you doing, and how are things in Trondheim? I know you're planning your Climathon. It's about to go live, I think tomorrow, right?
Yes, we're doing it tomorrow.
How are things? How are the plan coming along? How are you planning it?
Well, I think the program is ready, and and all the presenters, they are sending me their final version of their presentations, and mentors are ready, and we're doing the final wrap up of preparations. But of course, we will try to get our participants as ready as possible, sending them a final email and meeting them digitally for a digital meetup this evening, actually, so that they can be better prepared.
That's so cool. That sounds amazing. So they know what they're getting into. And we just heard from Bert that their challenges is around textile and the whole textile industry. Sounds very, very interesting what they're going to do in Herning. What are you going to work on in Trondheim? What's your challenge, and why is that important for the city of Trondheim?
Our challenge is actually entitled Green Energy Transition in the Innovation District of Ergesette. So Ergesette is the area where our university campus is located, and of course it has some other buildings, residents, etc. So we're going to make this area and the city of Trondheim world-class innovation district. And in this case, we think that when it comes to the issue of energy, we should also explore how we can actually transform this district into world-class living lab to try different technologies, to engage citizens, and through different platforms. So we want our participants to give us to co-create some great ideas how we can go further.
That sounds like a good starting, but also very motivating for the participants, that they can really that they can see, okay, this is actually an area of our city that we can take part in shaping for the future. Chin Yu, I know you are actually one of our, we say, like organizer champions. You've been organizing for a lot of years. I think this is your 6th year. So what do you think is the most fun part about organizing the Climathon?
Well, the most fun part is, of course, the day itself. Just to see how the participants are getting along. And I think the final pitch, the transformation of being on shore and see their confidence presenting their ideas and being proud of it is something that's very, very nice to experience. And that's what's keeping me going actually all these years.
That sounds amazing. And now we have Bert as well here, Bert, joining us, and it's his first Climathon. Can do you have a good advice for him, for a first time organizer?
Well, I think it's just to relax and enjoy, and I know that all participants or organizers have made great efforts making preparations of their event. all from picking the right topic and trying to make a good venue out of it and all the infrastructure. But I think the most beautiful moment is when we finally meet those people who come and join us for this important work. Yeah, enjoy your day is actually my best advice. But of course, I know that from all my previous rounds, there are a lot of nervous moments, yeah, of different kinds actually. So I think it's, yeah, enjoy.
I think that's a very good advice to really enjoy it, because it goes fast. Like suddenly it's over. I've been to a few Climathons, and even though I'm not the organizer, I still felt like, oh, it went by so fast. And Bert, do you have any question for Chen Yu? You know, like now we have Chen Yu, who's organized 6 times. Anything, you know, maybe that's coming up that you could be expecting?
Yeah, I do, because we have our tight schedule for the whole 2 days, and everything is pointed out for like minute by minute. So it's almost as if I can see into the future and know what's coming. But of course I can. So I'm really curious, has there been anything in the process when you kicked off that you were surprised about that happened?
Well, I think it's really hard to say. For me, always the biggest surprise is that how many people actually showed up after they signed up. You know, because this is a free event, and in our case at least, and there's always one big surprise. But since when everything was like settled, then we are. I think also being as flexible as possible is a good thing to do, and try to take it as a flow and meet your participants and try to meet their needs. And it's okay. This waterproof plan doesn't go as waterproof as possible as long as people are having a good time. And I think what I did, because during my 4 first rounds of Climathon, it was like 24-hour event. So I did some catch up, wrap up for the participants before their final pitch to review what has happened during their journey so far. As the key word that Becca pointed out, journey is a beautiful word for them to actually remember, because time is really happening so fast. They are really into thinking and working in their teams and et cetera, et cetera. So as organizer, I think we can just remind them as well to relax a little bit, take a look at what kind of beautiful moments we've been through together. That's probably a very good tip for both the organizer and participants to enjoy.
Perfect.
Yeah, I hope you can use that Bert as well. Also now that you're really in the middle of the Climathon. I just want to ask you, actually, Bert, how did you find the Climathon? How do you get involved to start with?
I think actually through the Impact Hub network that I've been a member of when living in different places around the world. So be it Amsterdam, where I'm from, or Berlin, where I've been part of setting one up, or Copenhagen. They've always been closely aligned and hosting several Climate-KICs. And then I think it's just following the conversations online and never actually thinking that I would join or host one. And then the opportunity came this year, and it was just like, of course, it made complete sense.
And we're so happy you did. And it's really nice to see like Impact Hub is one of our really our really good partners that are helping us also spread this message. And like you said, a lot of Impact Hubs are actually organizing Climathons. Again, that also just shows like how big this community is. Chen Yu, I'm curious, what is it about the Climathon movement that keeps you coming back? Why is it you want to be part of this?
I think because I've been working with, I'm a climate advisor in the municipality of Trondheim. And I've been working on the climate issue for 10 years, first in the regional government and now in the municipality. So I think that the biggest joy for me during Climathon is to be able to spread my the knowledge and the enthusiasm to the citizens. In our case, in the previous years and also this year, most of our participants are foreigners or foreign students international students in Trondheim. And this event is something that will bring them closer to the city, because sometimes they feel they're isolated in the university campus among their own peer students. But as a city, we feel that we want to meet them as well. So the Climathon creates a great platform for us to meet for a good cause.
That's amazing to hear. That's exactly what we hope to achieve with the Climathon, together with strong local organizers like yourself. I actually want to just hear a little bit about you two as well. So Chin-Yu, starting with you, how did you, because you both seem very passionate about this, so how did you get involved in climate action? How did you end up where you are right now?
Well, if I started, as I said, I started with working with climate issues actually 10 years ago. So this is actually my 10 years anniversary as a climate advisor, one place or another. It's a very important subject, of course. The Earth is burning, as the UN report points out. But I also like the complexity of the issue, because there are so many different elements connected together. So there's no one simple solution. If there were, then we didn't have the problem. But we need to have this multi stakeholder engagement, and that's why I think collaborating through Climathon gives a lot of meaning to this kind of complexity.
Really, this collaboration, I really like you pointed that out. That's really something that we also believe is so important for this. Bert, why are you involved? Why are you hosting the Climathon now, and what's like your past in terms of getting to where you are today?
Sure, that's a long story, but short. I've made a promise to myself years ago when I was studying that when I would be on the job market, I would only do work that would make a difference, or something that I could actually come home to my mother with. And so I've been working since then in the field of impact investing. I've been working for NGOs, working on youth skills training, on human rights, and healthcare innovation. And so we recently set up this new sustainability platform. And so now having a more focus on environmental sustainability. And for us, this was just a shoe-in of then hosting a Climathon, of again, like having a multi-stakeholder approach here has been really interesting.
That sounds very admirable. I really liked it. It's great that we have you as part of our community. So I just want to ask you one last question here is, if you could give an advice to someone who might be watching us right now and wanting to thinking, okay, maybe I could organize a Climathon, or maybe my city could use a Climathon, what would that one advice to maybe an aspiring local organizer be? Chin-Yu first.
Just get started. Yeah, I think it's just by creating, finding a partnership that's doing this together is very important, because I think it's very difficult. The event is rather complex, all from the challenge that you want to work on together. Of course, it has to be verified by not just yourself, but from other like-minded people. And then the venue, and then who do you want to reach out? So there's a lot of things to do. So get started as early as possible. Reach out with a simple dialogue with potential partners. That would put you very far.
And what about you, Bert? What's your like you said, you just kicked off today, so you still have to experience the whole thing, but maybe you had some learnings already.
Sure, we've been planning this for half a year or so, and it's been surprisingly easy with the playbook that's been provided by Thon. And it offers the flexibility to adjust it locally, to make it relevant locally. So there's everything you need is ready. So it's really like Chin-Yu says, is just like go ahead and do it. I think the main importance and what worked for us has been partnerships. We got the city on board early on. They managed to get the universities on board early on, and then you just bypass half the process, and then it becomes an actually relatively easy exercise despite its complexity.
Really good, both of you. Thank you so much for those insights. And I just want to hear if people want to see what you're up to, what's happening during your Climathon. Is there a way of following you on maybe social media, Chen?
Well, we have a Facebook account and Twitter account, and with the name Climathon Trondheim. So we will try to update a little bit there. And there is also an Instagram account called Trondheim Techport. And they will be doing some kind of Instagram takeover through that account. And that's they are our partner this year.
Perfect, thank you. And what about you, Bert? If we want to see what you're going to do right after you step out of this interview?
Yeah, sure. So we're mostly active on LinkedIn and Instagram. I think we're using Instagram mostly to update. We're doing a takeover of the Climate-KIC Instagram account later today from noon onwards, European time. And simultaneously, we'll be posting live video feed as well from our own Instagram account of Bæredygtig Herning. If you manage to get the Danish spelling of that, then you should be good.
That can be difficult, I know. Thank you so much, both, and I'm really looking forward to following your Climathon. Thank you so much for joining us, and the best of luck to both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So earlier this year, we were organizing the Climathon Awards, where we were looking for teams that had developed really great ideas. So we were looking for teams that developed really good ideas during the year of 2020. But we're also looking for ideas that were developed at previous Climathons, so since 2015. Also to show that sometimes it does take time for a good idea to develop into a really concrete solution. And one of the teams that took part in the Climathon Awards was from Climathon Florence in Italy. It was called Start Park, and we have talked to the team about their experience, also about like being in the Climathon Awards, but also at the Climathon, and how Marco, who's representing the team, actually got into climate action through taking part in Climathon. So we have a short video with Marco for you right here.
Hi everyone, I am Marco Berni. I'm part of Start Park and I am a strategic designer and program manager in Firenze, in Italy. I get into the topic of climate change first of all with the participation at Climathon 2017 in Florence, where we faced all these topics related to water management and the urban environment. And it was a blast because we came up even with the first concept of Start Park. With Start Park, we are working on the gamification of the process. We are trying to find a new way to engage with people and makes co-design more effective. Thanks to Climate-KIC, we were able to mentor and develop new concepts in order to grow and diffuse climate change adaptation topics. I think that everyone should be involved in a collective actions because just building connections through relationships, we can be effective against climate change.
So there you have it. That was from the winner of the Climathon Award that took part this year in the category Most Improved since 2015. And it's really inspiring to hear how he, through Climathon, really got involved in climate action. One thing that Marco mentioned is the fact that Climathon is a great platform for building connections. And now we're going to talk to one of the teams that took part in a Climathon earlier this year. So Climathons are running all throughout the year. This year, 195 Climathons. And this team took part in Climathon Liepāja. I hope I pronounced that right. It's in Latvia. And with us from the team, we have Silva. And Silva, how are you?
Hi, I'm really good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. So can you briefly introduce yourself? Who are you, and why are you passionate about doing something about climate change?
Yes, thank you. So my name is Silva. I'm from Liepāja, Latvia, and currently I'm a third-year environmental engineering student at Liepāja University. But I have also studied in Finland, the same environmental engineering, so I kind of have a feel of how things are happening, not only in Latvia, but also in other European countries. And why I'm involved in climate action and why I'm passionate about climate, I think it's because it's part of our life, it's part of our society. If we are not taking care of our nature, then who's gonna do it? Because we have to leave something to our next generations.
I think that's a very, very good point. And thank you also for correcting my pronunciation. I'm not too proficient in Latvian. So you took part in a Climathon that actually took place in earlier October. So it's not that long ago. Can you tell us how did you find out about Climathon and what made you excited about it? So you had to take part.
Yeah, actually it was my first Climathon that I participated, but it was not my first ever European wide event, kind of. And like I said, I'm an environmental engineering student, and I think it kind of just matches up. It's like a I don't know what to add more, because climate is something I study and I think I'm really passionate about it, and it just made sense to participate, and our lecturer was really passionate to introduce us to Climathon, that it's happening in October, and yeah, that's why I participated, because I thought it's important for my knowledge and see how I can, with my knowledge, do something about it.
It sounds like the right reason for participating. And it sounds like you, throughout your life, have actually been focusing on what can I do to make the world a better place, to tackle climate change. Is there a specific point in your life, if you try to remember, where you felt, okay, this is the time where you became aware of all these challenges that we have, and you wanted to do something about it?
I think it was in my last year of high school that I started thinking about what is happening and what I'm gonna do in the future. And I really resonated with the textile issue, what Björk was talking about, because that's something I'm also passionate about. Textile is something what we use every single day, and it's something what we have to use to kind of be part of society. And yeah, I think that was one of the main issues why I also got into environmental engineering, because textile is part of our lives, and but the waste is enormous, and the waste is just growing and growing, and it's not decreasing.
Definitely, and we really need people like you, people like Bad, people everywhere to really do something about this. So happy that you are also part of this, and you took part in your first Climathon. Can you describe what was the challenges that you worked on during the Climathon?
Yeah, so our challenge was basically, it wasn't from Liepa, it was a different cities challenge, but it was about how to engage people in recycling, in using recycled materials, and how to do it part of circular economy.
And I know that you and the team, so there are a few more people than you involved, but you have different backgrounds. Like how did you meet at the Climathon? How did you kind of figure out, okay, we want to be a team and we want to work on this challenge?
So yeah, it all actually started in our circular economy class in university, where our lecturer, Madre Kalni, who also was our team's captain in the Climathon, she just asked us, me and my other classmate, to participate. So that's how we made our team. But we decided that we would be open for other people to join. And like others mentioned, that before the Climathon actually started, there was an event where you could online meet other people too. And that's how we met two other girls from different cities of Latvia. And we clicked, we saw that the issue what the city of Ventspils was presenting about engaging people of starting to recycle and doing things to stop and to reduce waste was something that we connected all together. And that's how we joined and made our team Mademoiselle.
And what was the motivation for you when you said you clicked with the two people that wanted to join you? What was the main motivation? How did you feel that okay, these are the right people to involve in our team?
It's quite hard to answer because uh, so mother actually was the one who participated in the event because me and the other girl, Agate, who was already part of the team, we weren't able to join them. The meeting, what happened prior to Climathon, but I think it was just the energy what we got. It was 5 girls of us who kind of saw that there is an opportunity to solve an issue. We were all from different backgrounds. One of the girls is not an engineer, but she's an architect. One of the girls were teachers, and then there was 2 of us who are environmental engineers, and then circular economy experts. So it kind of clicked. I don't know how, but it did. And I'm glad it did because it was really fun to do it all together.
And I think what you mentioned there, the energy that sometimes you feel at a Climathon, I've felt that even though I've not participated, I've been there as a representative of Climate-KIC, but really the energy that you feel that people are bringing, they're so passionate about it that I think you're absolutely right. That is the key thing that kind of brings people together, and then you know from there the ideas are just starting to flow. Can you describe the idea you said your team Mademoiselle came up with?
Yeah, definitely. So we developed a business where everyone can come to our location and leave their old technologies, furniture, or textile. And for some people, it stops there. But we were encouraging the people who came and left their unwanted items to stay for classes where they could not leave, but learn how to repair, remake, or make something new from the items that they thought were unusable anymore. So these activities are made for all ages, from young children to elderlies, and basically they're foreseen by experts who know how to repair, how to make something new. And while these activities are to educate the public and remove the common thinking of buying, using, and throwing out, also, or part of our business model was that while these activities are for education, we have people who are simultaneously working to repair and make new stuff to sell in our local store, what is in our location.
That sounds like a great idea. Just before I ask you my next question, just gonna tell all the audience, the viewers out there, that if you have questions from Silva or for Silva and her idea, then please put it in the chat so we can bring it up here in the studio and you can get the answer straight away. So Silva, you said that you're focusing on a lot of waste and recycling of this. What is this a big challenge in Latvia, in your city? How do you see that?
Yeah, it is definitely a big challenge in Latvia overall because, like you know, EU has set some quite big standards for all EU countries to meet, and Latvia is trying to do it, but sometimes it's not happening as fast as we maybe would like. So it's really important that climathons like this can generate ideas and help even more to push to do more recycling or to do more thinking of how to improve, because right now it is not the best, but it's also not the worst, but it always could be better.
And what's your team Mademoiselle? So obviously you just started, like I mentioned before. You joined a Climathon that took place in the start of October. But what are you kind of hoping to achieve, and what are the next steps that you will go through with the team as you see it now?
Well, as for the team, the municipalities challenge what we were facing, so wind spills, they're actually really interested in our solution, and they are really interested for us to continue to doing it. But right now, as you know, COVID is everywhere, and Latvia is actually again in a lockdown, so it's quite hard to predict or plan anything ahead. But if it happens, it will be amazing. But right now, it is actually really hard to predict anything.
And how do you keep the spirits up? To say now you've just went through the Climathon, you were the winner, you had a lot of motivation, I expect, and you had a lot of momentum. How do you keep that up? So once, you know, hopefully soon these COVID restrictions will be lifted again. Like, how do you keep that momentum up within the team?
Well, first of all, I think events like this, like the interview, is really engaging and kind of for me a reminder that we have to do something because we are not only recognized locally but also internationally. So I think that's a big pleasure for me, but also for my team, I think. But I think the main focus should be that there is a change and people saw that there is a change what we can actually do. And I think it would be really not harmful, but sad that there is so much potential that we can do, but we are not realizing.
Definitely, and I definitely hope that that you can keep that going. So, are you? You said you are at. You know, some of you knew each other before, and you met some people through a warm-up event. Are you actually looking for other people to join the team? Have you become aware, or is it still too new to say, okay, we need this kind of person to join the team?
It is definitely too early to say because we just finished the Climathon, and like I said, for most of us, it was the first one ever. So it is kind of a new concept, and I think if we pursue the idea, and hopefully we do, uh, then the future will tell, and then we will definitely see how we can engage other people too. But right now, it's just a brainstorm of five of us girls.
Definitely, and I think that's also exactly where you should be. You know, trying to keep the work going on the idea before you really get locked in on, okay, what is it we want to do. Again, I just want to encourage the viewers out there. If you have any questions, put them in the chat so we can ask Silva. Silva, you said something about Climathon, and you also gained some knowledge. So can you talk to some of the learnings other than the idea that you developed that you had from Climathon?
Yeah, so it is always wonderful to come together with people from all paths of life and see how wonderfully fast you can get great things achieved. Even like events like Climathon, of course, allow you to meet new people, but it also broadens your view on how you can make change and how you can put different ideas together and shape something so different and so unique. I was very impressed of how other people proposals and other team proposals were coming, and I really hope that other people that in our Climathon share their ideas, that their ideas will become true, because if we see it, I have no words because the change is possible.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you feel that? How is the atmosphere? How is the people's kind of? Did they believe that? Okay, now as you said, there were so many good ideas. Did they believe that these ideas were gonna continue? Did you speak to some of the other participants or about this?
So our Climathon was happening in hybrid model. So some of the participants were online, but some of them were in a location in Liepāja. So it was a bit difficult for the people who were online to engage during the Climathon, but prior to Climathon you could meet some. So personally, I did not have experience to speaking with other participants, but what I heard and saw from the pictures and from the meetings what we had, that the ones who were together in Liepāja, they had so much fun, and I really hope that they will develop further their ideas.
And so this was your first Climathon. Would you see yourself taking part in a Climathon again, participating in the future?
Yeah, definitely. Because, like I said, that's something what I'm studying and doing, and I think it just makes sense that I put my knowledge, what I have gained in university, in practice. It's a way for me to learn further, and I think it's a great way how to achieve things.
That sounds amazing. And so what's kind of the, I know you said that, with the COVID restrictions now and everything is kind of up in the air, but do you have kind of okay, this is the next step, this is the next thing that me and the team are gonna do?
Yeah, so right now I think we are still speaking about what is the big next step what we are taking, but we kind of have ideas floating around that we should further the idea and apply it for the municipality, because that's something what they were interesting for us to do. So I think when things calm a bit down, that's something we could possibly do to put our plan in and share it with the municipality.
Definitely. So this is also to a message to the local municipality there to really pick this up again once COVID lockdowns are lifted. So Silva, I just want to ask you, do you have any recommendations for if someone is sitting out there and thinking, this sounds like an amazing journey that you've been through, and maybe they have the same passion as you? Do you have any recommendations, any advice if they want to take part in a Climathon? What should they do? And what can they expect?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first thing is to not be scared, because I think a lot of us have experienced at least once in their lives that there's an opportunity where you can apply, but maybe you don't have anyone around you who would apply with you, so you feel a bit scared to do it alone. But for my experience and from the teammates that join us, I think it's really important, if there is something that might even slightly interest you, you should definitely apply, because there will be people who will support you and make you kind of a path how you can join others and kind of build a team from there.
I think that's a really good advice. I have one question I can see from our chat here, so I'm just gonna read it out if you're up for it. So the question is, what other challenge would you like to work on? And it could be another pressing challenge for your city.
Yeah, so the challenge what we worked during the Climathon was kind of overall how to inform public and how to reduce waste and how to do other things. But like I mentioned in the beginning of the interview, is that I am personally really passionate about textile waste, and I think that's something that is not only an issue in Latvia, but also all around the world. So that's something that I really want to work on and continue to working on how to reduce textile waste, or what to do with it, how we can make it further not to be waste or recycle it in different ways.
That sounds like a very good challenge to try and tackle, and hopefully you can get connected with some of the people from the Climathon in Herning that's just taking place right now here in Denmark, and maybe you can work with some of them on further developing their ideas, because that's also what Climathon is about, really sharing ideas and bringing people together. Silva, if people are interested in following Team Mademoiselle, what you're doing, do you have an Instagram account or social media or anywhere where we can follow you or maybe the team?
So for us, what goes for the team, we don't have like a joint team account or anything, because like I said, it's so fresh that we are just stepping out of the Climathon itself. What goes for me, if you can spell it, then Silva Seia. It's probably almost everywhere finding like that, so you can find it there, and I can also help to connect with other my teammates from there.
Amazing. So if there are anyone out there looking to connect with you, then please also get in contact with us, because then we can connect you. That's also a big part of what we do here at Climate-KIC. Silva, I just want to thank you very, very much for taking the time to do this interview. I think it was really, really interesting to hear about your idea, the idea that your team Moselle came up with, but also just your learnings. So thank you so much for taking part in this interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So you just heard from Silva, one of the participants of Climathon, about her experience. And again, if you are sitting out there and you are thinking, hey, Climathon is really interesting, I would like to take part in a Climathon, you can actually go to the Climathon website, climathon.climatekic.org, where you can find all the 195 Climathon cities this year, hopefully more than 200 next year. And if you can't find your city, then maybe you are the local organizer in that city that we're looking for. We actually have all the support. We have a playbook, like you heard before Bert mentioned, and we have a lot of support, so we can help and guide you if you want to organize your own Climathon. So please do go in and check it out. And if you can't find it, then you can contact us, and we are happy to help you. This really was the session that we planned for you today on the Climathon YouTube channel and Facebook channel. Tomorrow we'll be back, but it'll be slightly different, because I will actually be in Lund in Sweden, so I'll just take the train. Obviously, I'm taking the train here, going with sustainable transport to Sweden, to participate in the Climathon there, and I'll be speaking with the local organizers there, and also on Instagram later. Tomorrow I will hopefully be speaking to some of the participants, so I hope that you'll follow us there on the Climathon Instagram account as well, and that you'll check in here tomorrow at 10 Central European Standard Time on the YouTube and Facebook page. And please do not forget that if you want to see more of the sessions today, we have really interesting sessions coming up at 12 Central European Standard Time on the Climate Accelerator and Climate Innovators YouTube page. There'll be a talk with my colleague Christian, who is going to talk to an entrepreneur about how to become an entrepreneur. And then later on, he will have a panel at 1 Central European Standard Time, where he will interview people like investors. So that's really interesting. If you have a great idea out there and you are thinking, hey, how do I get into a conversation with an investor, then really do watch that session. And please do share with us #Destination 1.5, where point is spelled out. Do share with us any great ideas, projects that you know of where land use is in focus, and also if you feel like your city or region should do more about how the land is being used around your city and region, then please do share with us. #Destination 1.5. I want to thank you for watching this morning, this afternoon, depending on where you are, and I hope to see you back tomorrow. Thank you.